More followers won't fix your revenue problems. I have a client using this same system who made $566,000 in around 5 months with literally just 15,000 followers on Instagram. He didn't run any ads, didn't have any sales calls, and he sold a high ticket offer purely through Instagram DMs. I'm Gus, and my clients have generated over $17 million, and I've used this same system to grow my company with a very small audience. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the system is. Number one, how to build a high ticket offer that actually delivers results. Number two, how to use this new offer into content pillars mapped to buyer awareness so that you can actually sell through content. Number three, a weekly posting cadence that turns viewers into people who want to DM you for your services. Number four, a simple way to use your own story to reach unaware market so that they can become buyers in the future. All right, so step number one is making sure your offer is high ticket worthy. My client in this case was selling a horrible offer, and I told him there is no clear outcome. There was nothing specifically that people were going to get that was worthy of him charging high ticket. So when we first mapped out his offer, he was shocked when I told him, bro, sell this to like 6K to 12K. He wanted to sell it for like $1,000 or something like that. I was like, no. We mapped out that way. I'm going to show you so that way he can sell over the DMs something that's worth 6K to 12K. And you can do the same after watching this video. If you say people that you're going to help them lose fat, that's not a high ticket offer. You can literally go to Grok, tell them your age, height, weight, activity levels, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do, what you need to eat to lose fat. So just losing fat isn't specifically a high ticket offer. A high ticket offer is how you get results in a way that is better, it's new or different, and that works over and over again. Emphasis on works over and over again. So at first we go through something called a one sentence persuasion, meaning in just one sentence, not your typical I help statement, but in one sentence, what is the result you're giving people? What is your method, your proof, and who is it for? Example, in fitness, dads drop 20 pounds in 8 weeks using a simple metabolic plan, short lifts, and simple meals. Now that's awesome. It's specific, and while we don't have the proof there, we can have the proof in our content, whatever it is. Mind you, while this is just a sentence, it actually takes a lot of time to make something like this be good and make it hit. Important, this is not how your offer looks on the outside, but how you actually give people results. Everyone nowadays is so focused on just getting leads, getting clients, getting booked calls that they miss arguably the most important thing of having a good, reputable business, which is actually giving people results. 99% of coaches make this one mistake that keeps them stuck. They just tell, they don't show. Show me, not tell me. Show me the results. Show me your expertise. Show me that you've actually done it. Show me that you've lived through the same stuff that I'm going through. People who are failing in the next year or even less, they sell promises, they sell crazy guarantees, and they just sell a bunch of junk to make up for an offer that doesn't deliver. You see this a bunch of time where people just stack on a lot of things into the offer. Free books, free PDFs, free bunch of this. I'll work with you for free until you get results. If you don't get results, we give you this. Or I've seen absurd guarantees, like if this doesn't give you results, I'll refund you and give you $2,000 back because we wasted your time. And then you looked at the small letter and it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Don't be those kind of people. Like, just give people results. It's that easy. Like, actually be a good consultant, actually be a good coach. You must reverse engineer your offer from the clear outcome that they got all the way back through your onboarding and map everything out to understand the customer journey so that you know specifically what they need to do to get to the outcome that you promise them. That's what makes a high ticket offer. For example, number two is you have to break your offer into chunks. Now, let me actually show you something. This is very deep. Like, I'm not gonna go through all of that in this video because I want to make this video short and you can actually go and implement this today. I have a 32-minute deep training private for my one-on-one clients. This is not on YouTube, but if you want this, depending on when you're watching this, down in the description below, I'll either have a link to just get this long video for you, or if I haven't set this up yet, just DM me on Instagram. I'll leave the description below the instructions for how to specifically do this so your clients get results. It's a 32-minute video. I just give my clients, it's a long video. I'll just send you the link. Now, going back to this, the way this works is your offer has core pillars that once those pillars are done by your clients, they get the outcome. You have your core problem that you're giving your solution. So it looks something like this actually. This is your offer and you give a good promise. You're giving a really good result. But in order for people to get that result and get that promise, they need to do 3 things ideally. And in fitness, again, this will be nutrition, training, and habits. For example, you can have 4, but no more than 4. And then in nutrition, you give them specific things they need to do. Training, the same thing. Habit, the same thing. But what specifically are those things? This is your philosophy of getting people results. Again, if you just say, I'm gonna help you with your diet, I'm gonna help you with your training, bro, every single fitness coach at least does that. In relationships, it's the same thing. I'm gonna give you date ideas. I'm gonna give you one-liners. I'm gonna help, bro, everyone does that. You have to have a different, unique way on how you build this philosophy, on how you actually get people results. And then through that, this is exactly what I'm saying. You're breaking down your one promise into different pillars. Each pillar or each problem becomes its own content lane. But you have to develop your own philosophy on how to do habits, your own philosophy on training. A good example for this in fitness will be Gregor Gallagher. He's very adamant about just training 3 times a week, for example. That's his philosophy. I need you to have your own philosophy as well. Same with nutrition. This is why you see people who are very extreme, like just carnivore, just keto, become very successful because that's their philosophy. They're very split in the middle. You either love me or you hate me. That's what I want you to do. And make each pillar its own content lane for you. Save the deep method breaks down for YouTube or people who are very close to buying, and I'll show you how that looks in a little bit. Just don't overcomplicate it. This is the exact exercise my clients do that have literally made them millions of dollars. Take your offer pillars, add a mechanism to each pillar, and make this your philosophy of life. Make this your own way of thinking. This is obviously going to vary from industry to industry and again in the sophistication of the market. But essentially, instead of speaking about nutrition, you speak about your metabolic nutrition method or whatever it is. Or instead of training, you speak about your movie star physique, which I think is what Gregor Gallagher did. But again, if you want the entire 32-minute video breaking down specifically in detail how to do this, down below in the description, I'll give you the instructions on how you can just have this video. You can implement it in your coaching business so that you can actually get people results, because this is essentially what you're charging for high ticket because you're giving them results. Now, jumping into my favorite part of this is the step 3, which is the 5 awareness levels and what to post. Make each offer chunk, when I say offer chunk, I just mean like your pillars, its own content pillar inside your value-driven content. And then we use something called the larger market formula to determine the percentage of what to post. And I'll show you what that looks. It's essentially this. But you'll have to understand that the majority of people treat the 3% who are actually just buying right now as how the entire total addressable market is. Total addressable market, 100%, out of those 100%, 3% are ready to buy. The other people are kind of thinking, and that's where you divide things into the awareness levels. So problem aware, info gathering, buying now, unaware, etc. This 3% is where the majority of gurus are. Sell, 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 sell. And that essentially puts you into the guru territory and you don't want to be there. Let's go by it real quick. Unaware is they don't see the problem yet, or they avoid speaking about them having the problem. Your job here is to break the ice and bring them into your world. Use personal brand and simple stories that point in the direction of your offer. Keep it specific to what you sell so that it attracts the right people. I'll give you an example. With my stuff, it's obviously I help coaching businesses scale, and sometimes I speak about mindset. Sometimes I speak about my faith. Why? Because I want to attract people that speak my same language with self-development, with mindset, with faith, with God. And I point those like mini pillars into my own world of my offer and how to help people. And I'm not specifically saying I'm going to scale your business. I'm just saying how I went through my story, how I went through my life in order to put myself in the place that I am today. Problem aware, they feel the pain. So speak it into detail. And when I say detail, what are the problems, the psychological issues, the pains, the physical pains, the future pains that they don't see, that they're going through, that they're going to go through, that you know so much that you can actually speak into detail, that once they watch your content, they read your copy, they understand that you're speaking to them. I need you to be specific in the problems that you're fixing. Speak their language. You have to name what is not working and why. You have to name competitors and why that's not working. Why are their methods not as good as yours, without speaking specifically that you have the solution, but just saying different methodologies. For example, I'll give you a quick example. Let's just say you're setting a subscription model of some sort of learning the best information or some sort of mentorship. You're setting the fact that the best way to learn stuff is literally just via books, whatever. Because you're competing against YouTube, courses, mentors, etc. You're just saying the best way to learn is books. That's it. When it comes to solution aware, they know the goal, they know the common ways to solve it. Just teach the basics that actually work. In this book case, to sell the best ways to read faster, say maybe you're recommending a couple books, whatever it is. In the case of fitness, instead of dieting, whatever famous diet you say that the best diet is the one you love the most. Let's say you have an offer around intermittent fasting. Speak about the best way to lose fat is through intermittent fasting. I do 16-8, whatever it is. You're setting the solution. Teach the basics that actually work. Give tips, case studies, things that I've done in the past, and make it simple, like the very deep stuff. Keep it for like the 1% of the 1%. Most people in the info space, they want to look smart, so they do content that's very deep, but not a lot of people can actually use. Now, when it comes to product aware, they know coaches like you exist, and there's a bunch of them. This is where you want to show how your way is different. This is why it's so important. What I show you up here, this is so important because you're creating content based on your philosophy, and that's something that not anyone can really copy. So talk about that. Talk about your way of attacking things. Your way of thinking is unique. So really lean into that. Share short wins because you're showing how your philosophy works, and you're showing how your method does the job and keeps people getting results. This is why, and this is where personal experience is very important. Now, when it comes to offer aware, these are people who know what you're offering, your product. They know that this is the thing for them. They're very close to buying. This is exactly what the 3% is. Info gathering, so it's their solution and product aware, and problem aware is the majority of people. The unaware, this is like the fun content where I'm gonna give you a couple tips in just a second. So in offer aware, when I say explain the first week, like literally walk people through like behind the scenes, walk them through like how it feels being a client, and give them a very easy way to pay or just start DM conversation. This is how my client did it. We just created content that hits for his audience, and we just repeat the process through DMs. And in the DMs, he closes like crazy, and it works. Now, lastly, I know where you're seeing is the 60% is the unaware. The 60%, the unaware, is how people go viral, how content really catches on. I honestly, in all honesty, I haven't caught on to that. Like I've not gone viral, but funny enough, I've helped my clients gone viral through this same process, which is this. When it comes to the unaware market, you're bringing eyeballs into your philosophy, into your way of being, your life, your story, and then bringing them closer into your offer. This is where you have to post about you, your story, your why, how you ended up where you are, how your method of thinking, how your philosophy of life brought you to where you are. You have to show yourself as a unique person. Personal brand is just showing yourself as who you are, your true self. At the end of the day, value and information is literally everywhere. YouTube videos. Right now you're on YouTube watching this video. There's millions of videos that share the best diet, relationship advice, that share the best, whatever it is. Like there's literally people posting 18-hour courses in YouTube for free. It's everywhere. But how you show the way you've lived through getting this information in your brain and putting it out there as your way of living and your philosophy, that's what makes you unique. So really share that as well. When it comes to format testing, most of my clients literally use carousels and they're crushing it. Now, we're always going to be testing reels. So for example, if we have a carousel that really works, we're going to turn that into a reel. If we have a reel that actually works, we turn that into a carousel. You have to test things. Social media is free. So why not test a bunch of different things until you find one that works for you? So for example, test reels and carousels for 2 weeks and just keep the format that drives the most amount of payments, the most amount of DMs, the most amount of really deep conversations. Sometimes likes don't really mean anything. And then just keep what your people act on and what you can pump more off. Listen, at the end of the day, what every single coach that I've helped struggles with is getting the right attention to get the right leads to get all the clients. I don't care if you go viral every time you post or if you're running ads currently. Every single coach I've helped struggles with this, even me. There are a million ways of doing this, and creating attention is just one step of the puzzle. As you've seen, everyone's posting more content than ever. This is why you have to get really good at cutting through all the noise. Not only getting the attention, but being able to sell the people who are raising their hand and wanting to probably buy from you. And then you have to get really good at creating systems inside of your company to be able to handle all of the growth in your business. And this is exactly what this video that's on the screen is going to show you in detail on how to do. So click that and I'll see you in the next video.